here. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to OT Graps. I'm Omer.
I'm Trevor, who
And
has
this
lint on
is,
his beard.
we got, but we can see it so clearly now, Trevor.
So clearly.
Look at
So,
that. Trevor in beautiful 3.999K.
didn't realize it was this ugly, did you? Did you? No,
I'm coming to y'all in like 2.444K because I don't want that light in my eye today because my man already got a migraine. So hey, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful start to their December. Trevor, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you? Busy as ever. I am in the process of, well, I'll tell people, in the process of moving. So I am busy working, moving, and packing. And I didn't realize I accumulated this much trash. This one's crap since 2015, dude. It's crazy.
The amount of crap that I've accumulated since 2015 is absolutely outrageous because man, when I tell you, like when I went to college, like I just like started like I like here's the thing, like, when you're young, right? You don't
Right.
like you have stuff that your parents buy you, but you don't really have any possessions, right?
Right, typically it's like stuff you can either eat or wear.
Exactly. And when you eat it, you don't got it for that long. But
Exactly. And then 9 times out of 10, when you wear it, like you probably can't fit it like next winter. So
hey, I'm on my way back up, bro. I'm back to wearing smalls and looking good. I'm going to
dude,
the
I'm getting back into
look at that.
largest,
Look at that.
hopefully.
Oh, hold up. Oh, look at that.
Uh-oh.
Going to the
Look at
gym.
that apple. Look at that apple.
Look at who's that? Who just was that? Look at him. Look at him go. Look at him. That sounds like something Vince
Yo,
would do.
did you watch, I think it was Raw last week, where it was what's his name? The Viking versus I can't think of his name.
Ivar.
Ivar and the other gentleman. I can't think of his name at the
Bronson
time.
Reed.
Yeah, there we go.
Big dudes.
Bronson Reed. And Michael Cole goes, yeah, just two beefy big men in there slapping meat.
Two big meaty men slapping meat. I love Big E, man.
It stopped for a minute, and then Wade Barrett goes, what? He goes, and Michael says, yes, the words of the great
Big E.
Oh, Big E, I was crying.
Bro, Big E said that in an interview like 2 years ago, and ever since then, I'm like, that's one thing that can bring together AEW fans, WWE fans. Like, we're all together there. It's just like big meaty men
slapping meat.
Love to see it. Like, I don't know. You remember like All Out Chicago this year when it was Miro versus Will Hobbs? And like it started off, it was a decent enough match, but then it really got going when the fans got going, and every single move was meat. It was being a part of that crowd is absolutely like surreal.
Some of those guys are really great, but others are.
I meant to ask you like this a while ago. I'm actually curious to get your answer here. Like, what are your thoughts on viewing wrestling in in person at the arena versus viewing it at home? Like, how does the experience differ?
So, my very first wrestling event live was actually at the old Cap Center, and it was series actually, and that was before watching on TV, that was my first experience, and I feel like as a kid, the experience is much different as opposed to a adult, obviously. Like as a kid, man, I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like we weren't that far back. Like it was big, it was spacious. Like you got to see all the like stars in person, and you got to see all the things that you don't see on TV. And like, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Wow. Now, as opposed to as an older man, like going now, like it's, you see it, but you see it for differently, and you still appreciate it. I think going as a kid made me appreciate it a little more live because like you get to see these guys who for like 20 years saw this, and then now they're bringing their kids and they're standing their kids up and things like that. I think as far as an experience, it's something that should be experienced. You should go to a live event, but also you can enjoy it as much at home, like especially the big moments at home, like like when people show up, like when Punk came back on AEW for the very first time. I was at a bar, kid you not, I was at a bar and I was watching it, and this dude walked past. He goes, "Yo, wait, is that CM Punk?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yo," and he just stopped, and we watched it on my phone, and like it was like 5 guys just right behind me, like, "Yo, I remember when he did this. I remember when he was at RH and blah blah blah." And like it's just it's a community regardless of where you go, honestly.
I remember, like, the reason I'm asking, that's an interesting response. Like, the reason I'm asking is because, like, when I was at the Survivor Series in Chicago this week, or last week, I should say, whenever that was. I don't even know. Time is not real. I had like this weird out of body experience, which like I don't know, like I've gotten a lot recently. Maybe it's because I've gone to so many wrestling events this year, like independent.
Yeah, this year you really have. Like you've gone to more wrestling events this year than I have in the past like 5 years.
Bro, the thing is, like, so if you go to like my history of like going to wrestling shows, like my first ever wrestling show was TLC 2011.
Okay.
And that was it until Dynamite 1. And then like basically like that was it.
Well, you really just started, like, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's why, like, like it's one of those things, like, I feel like in a weird way I'm like fulfilling my childhood dream. I'm just like, I want to go watch wrestling, but like another reason that I asked though is because like when I was at that event, like we all heard, like I was about to leave and like we all heard CM Punk's music play and like it was crazy, like pandemonium.
Just came running back, yeah.
Oh my god, people were running back, people were stepping over each other. Dude next to me was crying. Big shout out to the dude wearing the Rey Mysterio mask who was crying. But like one of the things that kind of like made it weird, I was like, I feel like I would have appreciated this moment a lot more. Like I like the pop was insane, but like the issue was the way the WWE had their ramp set up, which is like no ramp at all, so it's no elevation.
Yep, pretty much.
You can't see the stage.
That's the biggest issue with WWE. The way they set up their arena, their setup sucks sometimes.
Yeah, it's cool because like they got more people because like they did the minimal stage, so they got more seats. And, like, they sold out, like, 17,000. They sold 17,000. Right. That's an insane amount of tickets to sell for a show. But, I don't know. It was one of those things where I was like, I would have experienced, like, as great as the pop was and as, like, insane as it was, I feel like, man, if I was watching that at home and, like, I was like, okay, Survivor Series is going off the air, and then you just hear that, I feel like my heart would have dropped even more. It would have been, like, because, like, I feel like at the end of the day, like one of the big reasons we're all wrestling fans is like are these big moments, like
absolutely
big matches and big moments, and I don't know. There's no
it's
point
funny you
in
say
saying
that,
this.
though.
I'm just riffing.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's really funny you say that because the like the first event that I went to, like I said, was Survivor Series, and so that was a return to the ring for Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels hadn't been wrestling in a while. So it was he was on a team with Ahmed Johnson, I believe. I forget who else was on that team. And also was a return for Undertaker, who in the storyline got his face broken by King Mabel. And so it was his return too. But I remember even as a kid, because like I had to be like, was I 12? I was somewhere around there. I had to be. And I remember as a kid, like seeing Shawn Michaels return on Monday Night Raw and feeling it like more than I did when I saw him live, even though the pop was loud. I remember everybody around. I remember that, but I remember feeling like, oh my God, Shawn, because again, most of my favorite wrestlers. I remember like, oh, Shawn's back. When I was at home, I felt it. It felt like more special when I was at home than it was when I, actually went to go.
Man, that's crazy. I just pulled up that card you were talking about. So it was Team
Mm-hmm.
Shawn versus Team Yoko.
Yep. It was Ahmed Johnson, Shawn Michaels,
British
I don't remember.
Bulldog.
Yeah, Bulldog. I don't remember who else was on that team. I don't.
So it was Michaels, Johnson, Bulldog, Psycho Sid, which
Oh yeah.
Psycho Sid's like 1990 like 6, 95 whatever run in WWE or WWF is one of the weirdest runs of any like
it really is, because it's like up and down. It's like good and bad.
Like he won the belt. It's not real. like you know what I'm saying? Like what's not real. I was like, right. I keep forgetting that man won the belt.
He sure did.
Yeah,
I know he won it from Shawn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. That was and then shortly thereafter, Shawn Michaels was like, "Oh, my smile went away."
I lost my smile, so I'm gonna go back and find it and come back.
So I guess question here: what's better, going to watch wrestling in person or watching it at home? Gun to your head.
I feel like that. I feel like it has like circumstance around it, but like I will say, especially if it's your first event, definitely go into the show because you get to interact with more like people, and actually it's kind of cool when you don't act with and interact with fans that are complete dipshits. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Because like you get to talk to guys that, oh, how long have you been a fan? It's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And y'all, start talking and stuff. When I went to see Dynamite, like this past couple months ago, when I was in Capital One, I got to talk to this guy, and funny thing enough was he was at the Survivor Series show. So like that night,
in,
like
the old, you're talking about the one at old Cap Stadium.
Old Cap Center.
When we're in Landover, Maryland, son.
And he said he was like really. He said, "Dude, I was so high up. It was so. I remember as a kid like being afraid of the heights. I was like, yeah, dude, I wasn't that far back, but." But yeah, so like you get to talk to people. So I'll say definitely live events. I mean, I enjoy it at home too, but definitely live events.
I would say like everyone should go to at least one wrestling paper. Well, I mean, you should always go to like one event. Like even if it's an indie event, like you should go.
Right.
You're gonna have a fun time.
No, I have a ball at the indie events. I love the indie events.
I once went to this event that was like co-promoted with Black Label Pro and GCW. It's still to this day one of the most surreal like things that I've ever experienced, because like I'm sitting there like second row. And like the tickets are like relatively cheap, like they're like $30 a pop because it's like
right.
Black Label Pro, and like this is like their B show. The A show was the next night, which was the GCW like light tube cage death war.
Was this like match. Was this like a year ago?
This was the one in Chicago.
When you went to?
Yeah, in the weekend of All Out.
Gotcha.
But like I just like it was like it's a crazy show because like on one hand like there's Moxley's coming to the ring. You have, Nick Gage doing his MDK all freaking day thing.
Yeah.
And then, out of the corner of my eye, you have like big old Dave Meltzer, like roided to the gills, like just like trying to get out of the way from these big high spots. Someone's just throwing around. I forgot who it was, but someone just literally ragdolled little Marco Stunt and threw him into the crowd. I was like, this is insane.
I love Marco Stunt.
He's like a youth pastor now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, big shout out to
he looks like the youth, so it makes sense.
Look, how do we connect to the youth? Get Marco and put a backwards hat on him. Yo, kids, say no to drugs.
Yeah, shout out to Marco Stunt though. That's awesome.
Shout out to Marco Stunt. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to Liam in the chat saying taps on Mike. This is my show. I'm taking over. Oh, he's doing the old Seth Rollins. It's like, I don't care about Kevinska Obama. Oh, it's a Kazuchika Okada reference. We want Heath Slater. I would love to see Heath Slater.
Me too, actually. I'd like to see Heath Slater do something.
That's a good segue, though, into our first topic, Trevor. Kazuchika Okada, his contract is up in 2024. Arguably the best professional wrestler in the world, Kazuchika Okada, will be a free agent next year. Trevor, there's a lot of talk that WWE wants to make a massive push to get him. What do you think about that? Are they going to be able to get him?
I mean, look, I was a doubter a couple of weeks ago. And Triple H is starting to make me a believer. So I don't know. Like, it is a possibility they can get Okada. I mean, has Okada ever worked with them in bands before? I don't think he has, right?
No, he's done a lot of work in Japan. He did a quick stint in TNA, which was absolute hot garbage because they had him doing the Green Hornet gimmick.
Yeah, I remember
which
that.
Was problematic for so many reasons, but
so bad, so bad.
But yeah, this would basically be like his first big foray into North America.
It would be interesting. I just from former experience, like Japanese wrestlers don't really do too well in WWE. The Ultimate Dragon.
Historically, yeah, that's true.
Historically, they don't do too well. I mean, Tajiri, guys like that. I mean, Haku, we can go down the line, but
don't discount the greatest SmackDown talent of all time, Kenzo Suzuki, trying to cheat on his wife with Tori Wilson.
I thought you were talking about my man Jimmy Wang Yang.
Jimmy Wang Yang. He's a country boy, Trevor. He's a country boy.
No, dude, that was so funny. It was terrible.
That was just like, man, Vince McMahon must be laughing his butt off right now.
Right, like I'm making them watch this.
How many times do you think Vince was just like, look at that, 2 million people actually tuning into this shit?
Dense, flip it, dense.
All right. Anyway, Okada.
But no, yeah, it would be interesting. It would definitely be interesting to see, like, if they can get him. Like, I mean, with the backers they have now, man, they got almost endless money, which they showed by getting CM Punk. Yeah, money.
Look at that.
This
it's just fake money, by the way. This is fake money.
I know. Every time you show that, at first I have to look at it really hard.
This
to see
is what I show to my friends to pretend that I have money. I was like, it's on me.
Oh yeah, you think?
And then they like do the little the marker trick, and they're just like, oh, bro, are you okay? It's like, don't. It's that old Simpsons thing, like. It's like, don't tell people how I live.
But no, it is at this point, anything is possible. What do you think?
I think that if WWE wants him, they're gonna do everything that is in their power to try to get him. At the end of the day, like everything, it depends on the talent, and like I can't speak for Kazuchika Okada. I don't know like what his priorities are in that respect, and his loyalties. I think there is always going to be a part of him that wants to, like he's been in New Japan for a while, and like New Japan was a company that treated him very well. He was their John Cena. He was their biggest star. He was the face of the franchise. Still is to this day. I do think though. You only get one chance, right, to kind of break away and really make a go of it and make a name for yourself in North America if you're Okada. Like, this is your chance. He is in his, 30s. He's not getting any younger. Of course, wrestlers who are, 45, 50 are in the prime of their career now. Just look at Christian Cage. But at the same time, I think for someone like Okada, if you're WWE, you want to get him in this prime. Nakamura is WWE's booking of Nakamura throughout has not been great, but it has been a drastic improvement from the way they presented Japanese wrestlers in the past. If you look at the way Triple H books Joshi wrestlers, for example, where he's brought in Io Sky and made her the world champion. I think the tide is changing. And the fact that they got Nakamura to re-sign with the company, I should say, I think it opens the door.
That's a good sign, actually.
Obviously, I'm not saying that all Japanese wrestlers have the same priorities or anything like that, but I'm just saying from that respect, right? Like from wrestlers who are coming from Japan, who are coming from that system over to WWE, one of the big concerns has always been how am I going to be booked? How am I going to be presented? Am I going to be presented as just another Japanese wrestler? And right. I think that era of WWE is kind of going away. What they did with Nakamura this recently on Raw was dope. Did you see that promo?
Dude, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It was like an anime promo. He cut it it was the subtitles and the music. I was like, yo, this is.
The whole thing with him and Cody Rhodes, I love it. I didn't guess that's where they were going with it. I wasn't sure exactly where they were going with it, but I love the way they did it.
I ain't mad about it though. But anyway, to answer your question, I think that if I had to bet on it today, I give it 60-40. If between AEW and WWE, 70-30 that he goes to WWE.
70-30. Yeah.
I think
that's a good ratio. Yeah, because I think at this point, with everything which we will get into going on with AEW, I think it's probably going to be WWE.
Now, and the other thing is with AEW, if AEW gets him, or if WWE gets him, I should say, does he start in NXT?
Hell no.
Man, I'm just saying, you can't bring in Okada in NXT, right?
No, you can't. You can't do that. Okada is he's probably the best wrestler on your staff, on any show at this point. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and he will be known that. And you put it Okada tonight is fighting some stupid guy on NXT.
It's next week, Kazuchika Okada versus Von Wagner.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
It would be interesting because, Okada, I think, is a guy who can come into any company and he's challenging for the world title.
No, absolutely. 2 matches in, he's fighting your champion.
Yeah,
he should.
I do worry though about I don't worry about it because it's just the style that WWE has. It's a very different style than what we're used to with Okada. Because what we're used to with Okada is he is I doubt he's ever gonna have a match, and he will never have a match in WWE that's anywhere close to Omega Okada. Any one of them. Pick any one of the four, or no. At the same time, I think that that's also might factor into the process, because part of the appeal of WWE is it's a softer style.
It is. I mean, and I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if you've actually paid attention to this, but have you noticed that a lot of the rookie, so-called rookie wrestlers coming out are their style is a lot heavier than it used to be. I feel like a lot of trainers are moving into variations of that strong style wrestling nowadays.
I think there is.
I've seen a lot of indie promotions. A lot of the guys just
gotta get over, pal. You gotta get over with the crowd. Yeah, I think that's definitely a trend we're seeing for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Look, my buddy Jordan, one of my buddies who wrestles, he actually, I saw a match of his recently, and he just uncorked one, and I'm like, dude, who trains you? Yeah, he's a shout out to my buddy. His name is JB Anderson in wrestling. That's what he goes by, JB Anderson. He is MCW's. He's part of MCW's group. He's been all over the East Coast so far. Shout out to you, JB.
Big shout out to JB. But yeah, in closing, Okada would be cool. What are some matches you would want to see with Okada?
honestly, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that jumps into a lot of people's heads. Seth Rollins, Okada. I mean that's one that just jumps. You know what I mean? Of course, Cody Rhodes and Okada. Of course, I'll throw one that you might not think of, but you probably do because you're like me. Sami Zayn, Okada.
Sami Zayn would be a great opponent for Kazuchika Okada for sure. Mm-hmm. He's a guy
because he's different.
He can wrestle that strong style.
He can. Haven't they wrestled before?
No. Okay. I well, not to my knowledge. I feel like I would have known.
I don't think he has, but I thought he did because I know Zayn did a stint in New Japan too.
Well, let's see. El Generico. I feel like I would have come across this versus Kazuchika Okada. It's not coming up. Let's see. Nope. I don't see any Okada versus. I see Okada versus Roderick Strong. That comes up.
Oh, I forgot about that one almost. Actually, I really forgot about that.
Well, if you want to relive that, you can go over to Honor Club and pay $10 a month to go rewatch every old Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Which I'm praying that after this HBO Max deal or this Max deal, I should say, is announced with AEW, that we get some Honor Club there instead of having to pay for a separate platform.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking really forward to that because I love a lot of those old matches.
But speaking of like dream matches for Okada, my big one, you already named like Rollins and Rhodes. My big one is Gunther. Like,
oh yeah.
Could you imagine Okada like eating a chop from Gunther and being like, hell nah, let me step back real quick. oh, we're doing this now. Oh, so this is how it's gonna be. Like, okay, I'm gonna step back, and we gonna fight fire with fire. Let's go. Dude, they don't call me the Rainmaker for nothing.
The chest is gonna fall off. It really is.
He's gonna have like he's gonna have the Jericho chest where like his pecs are just like. There's like a big hole in his chest. You ever notice that? Like Jericho's got the.
I have noticed that. It's like right there.
Yeah, it's like he was asked about it, and he said, like, yeah, it's just what happens when you get chopped for 20 years.
Your muscles rip and all kinds of stuff happens.
Absolutely. Speaking of indie shows, Trevor, I'm about to surprise the hell out of you.
Surprise the hell out of me?
Yep.
Colored me pink.
Speaking of indie shows, I saw a tweet that I had to recognize for the people. Mm-hmm. I agree with Matt Cardona in this tweet. Shocking, I know. He is still a jobber jabroni. However, I have to say, he makes a very, very valid point.
Yeah, you got to, dude. Like, come on. Buy some cases of water. That's just...
For those of you who can't read that, it says... If you're an indie promoter, buy some cases of water for backstage. If you can't afford it, stop running shows and quit the business.
Yeah, that's like so minuscule. You know what I mean? Like, why can't you, like, I've heard, he's not the first person I've heard say that, though. There's a few of the indie wrestlers that I've heard say that. Like, Moxie's even spoke out about that. CZW, they barely had like secure places for them to wrestle. So dude, like a lot of people have spoken out about that. That's crazy to me, though.
That's such a carny thing to do, not to have water. Right. It's like that's like the 2023 equivalent of like, oh, you got to go to the bathroom. Here's a bucket.
There you go.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, water, bro. Come on.
Yeah, like food is one thing. And, like, honestly, you can just nibble on, like, torture, whatever. But, like, water?
That's, like, a basic essential. Like...
Yeah, you can't do water. That's crazy.
Like, that's like, bro, like, if you invite someone... Like, if you invite someone to your house, like, what's the first thing you do? Hey, you want some water? You want anything to drink? Like, that's, like, the first thing...
like DJ Hyde was running that show.
DJ Hyde known for that? Like, not get means like, he's like, hey, okay, you want some water? That's $6.95.
He's such a dick.
Oh no, that was in his parents' house. That's why he was like, I can't give all of them water.
Can you imagine his mother making everyone cookies in the morning?
I cannot look. I love DJ Hyde. I'm a big shout out to the Hyde family, if that's even your real name. But bro, if my kid starts running indie shows from my backyard, we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna be like, son.
Dude, when he did it, I thought it was it was the funniest thing. Like, I go up and down with DJ Hyde. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I can't stand him. But like, all in all, I respect him for I respect his hustle. I do, because that was a interesting move. Mom, Dad, can I have some friends over? How many?
10.
About 10.
Who do you think is a bigger like carny, like as in like like just like wrestling carnydom? Like DJ Hyde or
DJ Hyde's up there. He's definitely up there.
Or the guy. Have you seen Beyond the Mat?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the big dude from Beyond the Mat, Roland, the one who was like the indie promoter who's like, yeah, who knows? Maybe RCW is gonna be as big as this one day.
I remember that guy.
Who's a bigger carny? Because that dude was like, yeah, I'm gonna take him to WWE. I'm gonna get like 20% of their salary. Like that is like.
No, actually, two of the biggest carnies you didn't mention are the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh,
when it comes to their promotion, dude, their promotion was awful. It was atrocious. I don't even know if it's still running. Actually,
I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, Okada to WWE would be wild though. Man,
it would be very interesting.
You think they would work it? They couldn't work it out with New Japan to get that music. That's like
guys.
You gotta keep the music, man. Like that's just like they're not gonna get that music. No, WWE's gonna be like, brother.
Do you honestly believe that as fickle as New Japan is about all their property, they allow them to get that music?
Bro, the fact that
you can have the person, but not the music. We win.
Like, has there been a music like a theme song, I should say, that fits someone as well as like Okada's song fits him? Because I just think it's perfect.
You know what? I always thought Bray Wyatt's music fit him perfectly.
Which one?
When he first started the Crows, I thought that one fit him so perfectly. And to not be from the bayous of Louisiana, he did a perfect back bayou boy accent. Oh my god.
He did Triple B, back bayou boy. Absolutely no. I mean, like Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotundo is like one of a kind. Like as far as his ability.
Absolutely.
I think like to me one that sticks out is like Sami Zayn. I think his music is perfect.
Dude, yeah. Sami Zayn is a hyper. He really is.
That was like my favorite part of actually going to a WWE show. I was like, oh, I get to sing Sami Zayn's music, and I think I was way too into it because like they're like kids in the row in front of me, and they were just like looking back like, whoa, he's like, I was like, because I was like singing the whole thing. I was like, whoa, whoa.
I do love his music though. I really do like his music. I like I think Becky Lynch just fits her too.
Oh yeah, though.
Well, you know what? I felt like it fit her more when she was just Becky Lynch and not the man. I feel like she should have had something a little more like sinister kind of sort of.
I always thought that she should like her intro should be like the that old Johnny Cash song. There's a man going around taking names. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around.
When the man comes.
But like, that would have been a great like thing for her return. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that would have been cool.
When the man comes around, and then you go, whoa! Like, I feel like crowd would lose it. But WWE is too cheap to do that.
I've always liked Daniel Bryan's music too, of course.
Which one?
So now, I'll be honest.
That's why
the song that he has now might be my favorite, actually.
The white boy rap. I didn't want to for this.
It might be my favorite just because it was unsuspected. But like, of course, the final countdown is just with classic.
Bro, look, I don't cry at wrestling shows often, but when I do, it mostly
because that was the first time hearing that, right?
It was my first time experiencing that live, in person. Because that's like literally, I've been speaking about that for years, like literally years. I was like, man, like if he came out to Final Countdown of the show, like I'd lose my mind, and I did. The next time I will cry at a professional wrestling show will be Bryan Danielson's last match.
When he retires. Yeah,
when he retires, if he retires, I don't know. I
He's just gonna assimilate himself into a ring and just stay there forever.
I am one with the. That is some like hippy dippy stuff that Brian would actually like do. Like I am one
right?
with this ring.
Zen with the ring. I mentioned this last week, but the most absolutely absurd in-ring music like that I've ever heard was at an ROH show. And it was Rhett Titus.
What was it?
Was it Gonna Have to Face it? Was it Something Love? Rhett Titus, gonna have to face it. I'm addicted to love. Rhett Titus. I'm sorry, guys. I keep kicking the stupid thing.
It's crazy. Who was it? It was like recently on NXT. Like someone used license. I think it was Brooks. It was Brooks Johnson. Brooks Johnson on a recent NXT show used "Separate Ways" by Journey.
Do you think it's weird when you hear Do you think it's weird when you hear like professional wrestlers use like titles like that, like songs, professional songs like that with their interest when they walk out?
I think it makes wrestling bigger. I think it makes it feel bigger. I think I like it. For the most part, I mean, look, like if you know, like Roman Reigns was coming out to Baby Shark, it'd be a little. I mean, I'd be marking out because I love that song, but.
Hey, that's one of the things I love about National Stadium. Like, I used to watch the Nationals. Baby Shark.
Heck yeah. Put some respect on our name. 2019 World Series champions. It's my bunking stick. Bunk.
It's bonk.
My bunking. I'll bunk you guys.
Did you ever watch Dexter's Laboratory?
Oh yes, Didi, get out of my laboratory.
Did you watch the little show where there was the
talking about the monkey show?
Friends? Yeah, they were the Justice Friends.
Oh my
god! And they watched the show. It was called the Puppet Pal Show, and he goes, "Puppet Pal Pim, there is a spider on your bed, bonk." He would bonk it with a bonking stick.
Oh man. Another person who I think has like perfect music is Roman Reigns. Ultimate final boss music. Like, it's great.
I think that fits him well. Like I think if I can be honest, like I think most of the Samoans that I've seen wrestle, most of the music fits pretty well, honestly. Except for maybe Yokozuna.
I was gonna say, like, you think Yoko's fit him very well? I'm sure Vince liked it. I'm sure Vince was like, look at that. There's heat. World War II heat. And I'm giving it to a Samoan. That's so wild.
He's really Samoan, but he's coming out to the Japanese music.
That was a the 1990s were a wild ass time in professional wrestling.
Dude, WWF was probably quite possibly the most racist federation possible. They had so many like the Mounties, dude, and they were French.
I don't know. Look, those were accurate, but it was problematic for different reasons. They were from Quebec.
Yeah, can't stand Quebec.
This is a great segue. Quebec. I'm just going to use this as a segue into our next topic. AEW ticket sales.
Quebec.
There we go. Okay, merde. All Elite Wrestling is. Oh, actually, before I do, let me acknowledge CC in the chat. Yo,
Yeah,
acknowledge her.
good acknowledge.
So we're giving out money. I'll take $1. I mean, look, you can have this and everything that it's worth.
Which is nothing, unfortunately.
Hey, don't blow up what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give this to the people. I'm not gonna tell them what this is.
No, they're just gonna say
it. Anyway, AEW ticket sales. AEW is going to be in Quebec. They have an AEW Collision taping tonight in Quebec, actually. And then they're going to be live for Dynamite tomorrow. So, of course, the Saturday night's Collision will be taped. Trev.
Senor.
Do you want to guess? They're running the Bell Center, which is same arena that WWE ran for Elimination Chamber this past year. My man, my good friend, do you want to guess what their ticket sales for this show look like? For context, this arena fits about, for hockey, I think 14,000.
14. 3.
You almost got it exactly right. For Collision, 3,259.
That's not good.
Do you want to take a guess for the Dynamite ticket sales for this show?
Is that the same arena?
It is. It's the same arena, just the next night, because one of the reasons that AEW likes to run, these Canada shows back-to-back nights is just because it's easier and cheaper for talent.
I'll say 6.
Oh, you are you look at you. I'm so glad that you're you're optimistic. It's so nice to have someone who's very who's got the optimism that you have. But no, my good friend, it is not at 6,000. Come on, that would require selling tickets. They're sitting pretty at about 4,000 something, I think, right now.
Yeah, only two away.
Look, you were only one collision, one full collision show away from guessing the seconds, which is a wild statement to make.
That is crazy, though. I don't think we've actually really talked about this. Do you know the reason for their fail in ticket sales?
Do I know?
Oh, has there been it's talked about or mentioned before? The drop off.
I would say again. I think that trying to think of word my answer here. Good. I would say that the reason that AEW is struggling, in my opinion, to sell tickets to their weekly television shows is because they don't build their TV shows up as well as they used to. It was a lot easier, I think, to do so when it was just Dynamite, or even when it was just Dynamite and Rampage, because it's one taping. Right. When you add Collision, it's a good thing for you money-wise because you're getting a whole bunch more money from that TV rights revenue. But at the same time, what you're doing is you're essentially splitting your houses when you're running like that. So that's going to eat away at your business to an extent, especially since AEW is a newer company. I also think,
but I believe CM Punk was a big reason for that too.
I think CM Punk in specific markets was a big reason for the drop off. When you lose a big star like that and you lose momentum, I think that's the other thing. AEW lost a lot of momentum. It wasn't just Punk. We've had Bryan get injured. We've had Mox out for a little bit. We've had
MJF is hurt now.
There's been a lot happening. MJF is hurt right now. Exactly. So
yes. I'm actually scared for them. I really am.
In what way?
Well, I mean, like you said before, it's probably silly to even think that they would go out of business so quickly. But because, I mean, Tony Khan has money for days. He'll do what he has to do to keep it afloat.
Yeah.
And there is a big enough market to keep it afloat. It's just not as bigger market as it was before, which I think happens. Honestly, I think WWE has had issues before too.
Yeah,
I mean,
2019, bro, they were doing terrible business as
terrible.
far as live events, and their weekly shows. Like they were not drawing good houses.
No. I mean, maybe this is their this was the senior years, sophomore slump. What year is this for them?
Like this is their 5th year in college.
But yeah, I mean, it unfortunately it's something that does happen. But now it's time to do time to recuperate, time to figure out what we can do, what they can do to make it, to boost it up. You know what I mean?
I think that like you bring up a good point, and like it's a bit of a sophomore slump. Like they were on such a high in 2021.
They were,
and
they
like
really
most
were.
of 2022.
And this is even before CM Punk. Actually, this is before CM Punk.
There were a lot because remember, like AEW was only touring like when they first started. They were only touring for like 3-4 months, and then the pandemic happened, and then they had to put a stop to it all, and they didn't come back until July. And they were like the first dance in Chicago was like the biggest like one of the first big shows when they came back, like when wrestling came back in general. Like so.
Yeah.
I think that like part of it is like the excitement around the product being new has kind of went away too. But also, and I think this is like another important wrinkle. Like it's a multifaceted thing. It's not just like one or two things. I think there's a lot of people on Twitter who would like to tell you like, oh my God, look at this AEW going out of business. No, Triple H 1, Tony Khan man 0. There'd be a lot.
I love that every time you mention a wrestling fan, they are country is a hell.
I'm the PC version of Vince Russo. Look,
okay, makes sense.
Look, I look down on the South. But no, I love the South. Love Southern hospitality. It's just a funny accent.
It's a great accent actually.
But like no, in all seriousness, like I'm not worried about AEW going out of business because like we just got a report that they're gonna gross like over $170 million gross, or $170 million in revenue this year, which is great.
Oh wow.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's really great.
So like
that was actually my next question. How are they doing in revenue?
This is their most they're not fully profitable yet because like Tony Khan had to put down a lot of money and the Khan family had to put down a lot of money, but by the time their next TV rights contract goes around, like by the end of that contract, they will be profitable. It's just like a matter of doing it. I think the attendance issue, on top of everything else you and I have talked about, I also think that it's part of it is I don't think they have a good marketing game for locally.
No, yeah, at all. I don't think so.
Because it used to be, right, when AEW was coming to town, about it. And they were everywhere. You remember when Dynamite was coming to DC for the first time? And obviously it's like their first big show. They were going to put a lot of promotion behind it. They
sold that arena.
Bro, every day I'm going to the Metro, I see like AEW Dynamite on there.
Everywhere, dude. Like for the past 3-4 years, all you saw is AEW this, AEW that. Like you don't see it anymore though.
Yeah, and I think maybe like I don't know like what that is, like because if you even look at we've talked about this before, look at Arthur Ashe. Tickets for that show this year were not selling well. Part of that is because tickets were also very expensive. That's another issue that I think AEW has. Mm-hmm. They start their tickets off at such a high price, and then nobody buys them. And by the time they lower them down, like
no one's interested anymore.
Like no one's gonna make a last minute trip out to go see that. Because I'll tell you this, Trev. I bought a lot of wrestling tickets this year. You know what my trick is to buying wrestling tickets for all you fans out there? Don't buy them until the day of.
Yep.
Don't buy them until the day of because that's when they're going to be at the
I'm actually thinking about getting Arthur Ashe tickets, actually.
Oh, you mean Wembley?
Yeah.
Wembley or Arthur Ashe? There's two stadiums.
I said Arthur Ashe, yeah. Because Wembley's in England. Where's
England?
Oh, yeah. And Arthur Ashe is in Nork.
Pinky cup.
When I drink my water.
I drink my water.
Yeah.
There goes the UK audience. There goes Liam. Actually, no, Liam's Scottish.
Yeah, was it Liam Scottish? Isn't
Scottish. Let me not.
Right.
Drew McIntyre. Big shout out to Liam.
Hey, there goes our Scottish viewing audience. You know what I've noticed? We must have loyal fans because we have literally in almost embarrassed and talked about every race and culture I know of.
That's the beauty of wrestling. It does kind of bring everyone together in a weird way, doesn't it? But speaking of Wembley, look, bad news for AEW. We talked about that. There's a little bit of good news here. Trevor, I want you to guess, how many tickets have they sold for Wembley in their first week?
33?
There has been an update, I think, since I sent you those latest numbers. But yeah, basically in that ballpark. 36,000 tickets sold. Okay. And this show, mind you, is in August of 2024. Trevor, what do you think about this news? Like, is AEW are they selling well?
I mean, is AEW doing well? Probably. We just sitting there talking about they might be in the
one
shitter.
segment, bury them. They're going out of business. The next segment, hey, look at this. Business is great.
Hey, good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, it's just so funny because like you said, it's just so up and down, night and day sometimes. But like, no, they're still in the fight. And they still are a good company. They just got to figure out what's going wrong.
For sure. And just like my thinking about it, like people were always wondering, like, what's a good number for AEW to do for Wembley next year? And my thinking was if they sell, like, they're never going to do like the 80,000. They're not going to, unless like they would have to have like a massive, like Becky Lynch would have to like sign Drew McIntyre. They would have to like do great in free agency. But like doing 80,000 isn't like a realistic goal again. But I mean,
because that was history making. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's like something you could do once in a lifetime. But I was all like, if they're able to hit 50,000 tickets sold, that's a success. Like, no, if you're a company, WWE or otherwise, and you sell 50,000 tickets, that is a raging success.
Exactly. I mean, and they're 36 now. I mean, just 2 hours ago they were 33. They're 36 now. So like, it's possible that they hit 50.
I think like by showtime at Wembley they will hit 50. Tony also said that he has thoughts about his plans for All Out already. Like he feels like he knows what the main event is. Okay. Any guesses of what you think it could be?
Does it involve MJF?
I have no idea. Like, no, like no one has any idea. So like Tony just
we don't know anything.
Tony was just like on a podcast, like, I think I already have like, an idea of what it could be.
With Tony Khan, it could be anything. It could be anything and anybody. Honestly, that's a hard guess.
Oh my God. I just thought about if he signs Becky Lynch and he gets Ronda in there.
Becky's contract's up? In
2024.
Oh yeah. The bidding war of 2024.
Like, I doubt Becky's gonna leave WWE.
No, not with her husband there.
But also, make me an offer I can't refuse.
Dude, could you imagine? That would boost their ticket sales high as hell.
You want to talk about a needle mover? That's what Becky Lynch
dude,
is.
She's a seller. She is definitely a seller. Becky Lynch is probably the best thing to happen to women's professional wrestling, and I will say that in front of anybody. She really is. No, not Charlotte Flair. Even though I like Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch.
No, I love how you're like, look, people. Before you start talking, we love Charlotte, but come on now.
I mean, like who? Like, be honest. Like, everybody tuned in when Becky flipped out on SmackDown and started, dude, no one booed her. She did a full heel turn and no one booed her.
Nope.
No one booed her. Everyone was like, yeah, about time you get Get her. Like,
because at that point people were just wanting something different from Becky, and they got that. And they got the best version of Becky Lynch. Like that, man, the 2018, 2019 version of Becky Lynch is like, that is like top tier all time persona in professional wrestling.
The whole SmackDown versus Raw thing when she came over there, that is still synonymous.
It's like, come on, Ronda, you little weirdo. Loved it.
That is still amazing.
I will say, man, like, I think if Tony can pull it off, like he's got the Ronda Rousey connection. If Becky Lynch is there and Ronda is there and you got Wembley, I'm just saying, you want to sell it. You want to make history again. You want to have 90,000 people there.
Sell it.
Just like, just do it. Like, give me the match. I'm so mad we haven't gotten this match, man. Like, I hate this. You know why? It's like that weird thing that like it should have happened in 2019. Yes. The main event of 35 should have been a one-on-one match between Ronda and Becky.
And this is why people didn't like the booking at the time. They literally, here's the thing. Again, I'll reiterate this. I like Charlotte Flair. I think she is a great wrestler. But they tried to force feed us down our throats. Like they put her in everything. And there was no reason she should have been in that match with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. No reason at all. Even though you did get some pretty cool segments out of it, like the whole police segment.
That was crazy, I will say. Like that fight where they're like, that was a little weirdo promo. When like she was like, Becky was handcuffed and she was trying to beat up Ronda. She goes, "Get your hands off me, you little weirdo." It's amazing.
The fact that she kept calling her a little weirdo is the funniest thing.
Like, we all know what she was trying to say there.
I know.
That would be cool if they were able to do that for Wembley, though. I just saw a tweet from Tony that quotes Tony Khan. You want to hear it? Just for hits and giggles. This is a quote from Tony Khan. "We're not paying Ric Flair. Ric Flair is essentially paying us. We're getting paid by Woo Energy for all of his appearances, so we're collecting revenue from them." Trevor, this is news to me. I'll admit that. I want to get your thoughts on this.
I think that's news to everyone.
News that this entity, Woo Energy, is paying AEW so that Ric Flair can be on TV.
That is, you know what? I listen to Tony Khan, things Tony says, and and every time he says certain things, I can't imagine him being that arrogant. And then I'm like, yeah, he is. But in a way that's kind of, I don't know if it's arrogance or if it is like good business sense at the same token. Because like, he's not wrong. Like, I mean, he's not, Ric Flair's not, of course, not giving him money, of course, no. But like, having Ric Flair in that arena or whatever, and all the woo, and the people, people coming to see, hopefully, Rick, it's getting money, but still, you know what I mean? Rick is Rick.
Hey, bro, what's this man done for attendance? I'm just saying.
Not a damn thing. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just, you know how I feel about Ric Flair. I'm just like, bro.
I'm not a fan either, but yeah. I'm just saying. Like, I'm more of a fan of his than I am Hulk Hogan's.
I think you hit me with one of those unanswerable questions. Like, that's
do I root for either one of them? No.
You remember when they had like, bro? This is like the ultimate like. The epitome of wrestling toxicity. It was like they were having like a big like 5-on-5 tag team match going into a Saudi show, and it was Team Flair versus Team Hogan.
Yeah.
And we were all just like, damn, bro, WWE went full on like, we're gonna piss off everyone.
Everybody. No one's is gonna be happy.
the Ric Flair thing, though, the interesting thing I should say here is like we've learned that apparently all this money is coming from Woo Energy. And Trevor, my question to you is, do you think that Woo Energy is a front for some sort of illicit activity? Because it seems
it's
to
a
be
drug.
the case that Ric Flair isn't the one funding this. There is someone else behind the scenes who's funding all of this and making money. But also, I've never seen Woo Energy sold anywhere at all.
No.
So I'm like starting to think, I'm like, could this be a front?
You know what? He's laundering money. No.
Woo! Woo!
No, but you know what? Like I say, I love Tony Khan. Tony Khan is a crazy person and the heart of it, but I love the man. Half of what he says doesn't make sense, but I like his product.
I do like the fact that he's like whatever he does is like, it's like he'll like give like a wild answer like that, and it's like, and Ric Flair is gonna be live on Dynamite this Wednesday at 8 p.m. on TBS at the Great Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, one of the best cities, historic wrestling city. One of my favorite cities to go to. Like he has a script memorized for like every insert city here.
You ever meet a kid that is like very well spoken and like very inquisitive and very like intelligent, and then they sit down and you ask them a question, they're like, yeah, me and my family we went to the mall, we did this, that. That's how he speaks to me. He reminds me of a very excited child. he really does, and it is not a bad thing. He reminds me of a very over analytical, very like logically detailed child.
Well, that's part of the reason he's so successful. Like the fact that he is like overly analytical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, I mean, there are certain things that you see he does. You're like, that was stupid, Tony, but let's do better. I mean, it's very hard to stay mad at that man.
I want to like hold up. Do I have a picture of this? Like, do you remember when like Guevara was? We've talked about the Matrix, right? The wrestling Matrix that Tony Khan has, like the piece of paper.
Oh
he
yeah,
has, like all the storylines written down.
Yep.
I still think about that sometimes. I'm like, bro, like, can you like explain this to me?
Like, I want to know.
Like, he could sell that like on like a Patreon, and be like, like, yeah, guys, subscribe to my Patreon. It's gonna be great, and I'm gonna show you all the secrets of how I book professional wrestling.
I know one thing I forgot, but congratulations to Sammy Guevara and Ty for having their baby. Damn, they had, I think it was last week, right?
Yeah, it was very recently. Like, Sammy was even joking about it. I was like, yeah, man, like, baby was supposed to come a while ago, but we're still here. But great
Congratulations
news
to you guys. Shout out to you guys. Glad everyone is happy, healthy.
Yeah, great, good news for them. Big shout out to the whole Guevara clan over there, down there in, I'm sure somewhere in Texas. I think that's where he's from.
I mean, he's a Texas boy, so.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah. So, what else we got on this? I have a funny tweet that I want to read out to you.
Absolutely.
This is from a wrestling. I'm not gonna say the name of the account. That's part of the reason I don't have it like screen grabbed, because I didn't want to give this account too much notoriety. But the gist of it is, like, listing out ratings. Raw rating 1.5 million. The Jaguars 16.45 million. Tony Khan has now beaten Raw because the Jags played on Monday night.
That's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
Like from what I've seen on this wrestling troll account, like, this is like one of the funniest, like actually funniest like trolls they've done. So big shout out to them.
That's an interesting topic. Since I don't know if you have another one, but like that's an interesting topic. We were talking about earlier, like wrestling experience wrestling live. How crazy is it to you that wrestling has a forefront in like sports athletes, like people make songs about it, like how crazy is that to go from what it used to be to now. It's such a big wrestling culture now. I feel like pro wrestling has grown so much in the past 5 years.
I think one of the biggest like factors in that happening is that people are not ashamed as much as they used to be about being wrestling fans. Like nerd culture in general, like anime, video game, all that. Like it's cool. It's cool to be like, hell yeah,
there's
I'm
so
gonna
many
watch
music
Dynamite
stars that are anime
yeah.
fans. It's crazy.
Like I feel like when you and I were growing up, it was like for me definitely less so than you. You were probably like.
Right.
Like hiding like your wrestling fandom. For me, it was like, like I knew people who watched wrestling, but I didn't know people who were like into it as much as I was. And even like when I would talk to the people who I thought would like, like comparable to me, it would be like they'd be like, yo, bro, like you know a lot about wrestling, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me stop. So yeah, I think with wrestling just being and like again like culture in general, like, people just being like more like relaxed about like being like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a wrestling show tonight. Like I think like there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So and that's why I think you see it. On top of that too, I think like wrestling is like also like a part of like pop culture. So
you're bound to find it really is a big
like,
part actually.
Yeah, you're bound to find like high profile people who are just digging it.
Like it's funny you say that because like I have noticed like the more the so-called quote unquote nerd culture is more prominent now. Like Megan Thee Stallion always talks about how she's an anime fan. You have like it's a couple other singers that are big in anime. Then you have one of the Migos who's a big wrestling fan. He's a fan of Ric Flair.
Bad Bunny.
He wrote a song called Ric Flair.
Bad Bunny wrote a song about Booker T.
There's there is a strand of for people that do it medical marijuana called Ric Flair. Like
that's got to bring you down from the woo energy, right?
Woo. I mean, it's a lot. Like Omar hit it on the head. When I was a kid, man, like I wear my wrestling t-shirts. I go to school, and I was the kid sitting at the table reading comic books. Like that was me. People made fun of me. I didn't care. I was cool. I was by myself, and then I had other friends that would come over and like, oh, did you see Raw last night? Like they would talk to me about it. Like until then, I didn't know too many people that actually like wrestling like that. And even till what was it, like maybe 5 years ago when me and Omar started talking about this whole wrestling thing. So do you watch wrestling? I was like, kind of. Do you watch wrestling?
That first interaction we had was wild. Like we were just like, because I was like, yeah, from time to time, and then like it got to like, yeah, I might be going to WrestleMania, and then, maybe we'll see, like, yeah, and then it got to like, oh my God, did you see Monday Night Raw?
That's exactly what it was. It was crazy, like.
And then like Ryan would just be like, "You guys actually watching wrestling?" And then I made Ryan. Brian. Well, Brian. I made Brian.
Right. Okay.
Brian. Whoops. Cat's out of the bag there. Anyway, but I made him watch a match with me because he was like, "All right, you'll get one match out of me. Like, what are we watching?" And I was like, "Okay." There were a few like match. This is actually a good question I might ask you. But like, there were a few good matches, and I was like, Stone Cold Rock X7. I'm just gonna put it on, and he was like blown away. He's like, "Oh, like he was, bro. He was into it." So I just love the fact that like like in a weird way, like even like other people that I know like who aren't big wrestling fans are like, yeah, I kind of like I appreciate the art of it. Like I see it. Like people I think see it now too, and that's like the cool
part. Artistic, yeah. It's cool. It's one of those things that you either like it or you hate it, or you understand why people appreciate it.
Exactly. Like I can appreciate why people like, although I can't say, I was going to say trash reality TV, but like I also appreciate trash reality TV. But like, I don't know, like
Tom Cruise. I understand what you're coming from. I'm not a big fan.
Like Tom Cruise action movies, I'm not a huge fan of those at all. Or like action movies in general, like the Fast and Furious, all that. Like I'm there for the meme. I'm not really there for the movie, but I know people who are like deep into it, and that's great.
Dude, I like every year, especially around Christmas time, I watch Die Hard. Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Christmas movies.
Okay, Lethal Weapon is different. That's just see, I love action movies for the memes, and I think Lethal Weapon, the entire series, it just got more and more like Bollocksy as it went on. You know, it was just like by the end of it, like that fourth movie is just like there is no plot. Like we are lost. It's just Jet Li.
Stuff.
It's just Jet Li and Joe Pesci like memeing at each other.
Like, dude, that first one was so good. But anyway,
that was back when there was a serious movie with a serious plot, and then it just became a meme. Like, what was like? There's another like Fast and Furious to me is like the ultimate meme like franchise. If you look at what that franchise was in the beginning and where it is now, bro, I'm telling you, this next movie they're gonna be in space. Like they're gonna have flying cars in space.
They're in space already.
It's on to family on Mars.
Dude, and we'll get back into what we were talking about because you had something.
What were we talking about?
But dude, how many siblings does this man has that want to kill him?
I'm saying, like, you got
how many relatives don't like you, dude?
My man's got like The Rock as his cousin. He's got, first of all, also in this universe. Hey, yo, okay, look, I'm gonna be the one to say it. John Cena is a white man. How is that man your brother?
Yep, he was his brother.
That's my full-blooded brother. Family. Like my man had a toast to it.
And by the way, John Cena as a villain is hilarious.
And then Roman Reigns is like, I don't know, Roman Reigns is related to The Rock in that. It's so that.
Yeah, he's related to Rock in that movie, and I don't know how canon it is because if he's related to Rock, technically he's related to Toretto. Like I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore.
Like I said, there is no plot. It's flying cars and explosions. That's all that movie is. Oh, this is a good kind of like side quest. I thought of this. If you were gonna show one wrestling match to a non-wrestling fan to try to get them into wrestling, what would it be?
Well, that's a good one. That's a very good question. A non-wrestling fan. You know what? Bret Hart versus British Bulldog.
Oh, you want to go? You want to go that route? That's interesting. Why is that?
Well, it's either no. Bret Hart versus Owen. That one would be
your leg out of your leg.
And the reason because it was so up and down, and it actually told a very great story, honestly. And that was one.
Sorry, you're talking about the WrestleMania 10 match?
Yeah.
Okay.
Told a very good story. That would be one of them. If I was going newer route, it would probably be Hangman Adam Page, your boy, the Cleaner.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think you want to show Hangman Page versus Swerve as the first match.
No. You want to ease.
Hey, yo, bro, this is what you watch.
Ease them into that. But no, like, Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega. That's a good one too.
That could be
again story driven.
I agree with you, and like I think that that's why like when I showed Brian that the match, I was like, oh, we should watch X7 Stone Cold versus The Rock because like no one tells better story matches than those two. One of my other friends that I asked this question to was like, oh, bro, I showed them Omega versus Okada 3, and I was like, bro, no. That is and I'm not saying like no, a non-wrestling fan wouldn't enjoy that, but it's like so wild and like here's the way I think about it. Like Okada and Omega, like those big like wrestling those are for like people like you and me, Trevor, who are already fans.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like we're like save that for you want to ease someone into it. Like I think
exactly.
You got to
you don't
like
want
that
necessarily. Exactly. You don't want necessarily a gimmicky match, but you do want something that is story driven. Like it's something that they can feel, right?
Like Jimmy Uso versus Roman Reigns is a great one. Show them the video
amazing
package.
One.
Boom!
That whole story up to that is absolutely amazing. To that
Sammy versus Roman. I know we don't like him, but Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at 18. That's a great one.
Yes. You know what? That is on my list of top matches. I can't stand the guy, but that's on my list of top matches.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I think that It is interesting. It's like one of those weird things. Like, do you want to show them modern wrestling though? Or like, do you want to show them that classic stuff so that like they have some place to begin?
I'll probably do classic first. I mean, it may be certain new stuff, but definitely I would start classic.
It's like start with a classic. We gotta go ECW Hardcore TV number 22. Mikey Whipper. No, I'm just kidding.
About hardcore matches a while ago. You know what? I forgot to mention. And honestly, I really liked this one because it wasn't like over the top, but it was a hardcore match. Shawn and Mankind, Mind Games in your house.
with Jim Cornette's pet rat.
Yeah.
My rat is dead. Well, corny. That I'm sorry. Well, look, it's just a rat, corny. Well, F you, mother trucker. I hate you. I'm gonna kill you.
That was great.
Oh, we got Jermaine in the chat saying, is there any hope that Kota gets back to half of what he once was? Ooh,
good question. Damn good question.
Trevor, you want to take that one?
You would stick with the hard ones. I don't know. Like, it's kind of sad too, because like seeing him in the ring, like it's just not the same. Like when he was when wrestling recently, like you see him in the ring, you're like, this is cool and all, but it's just not. But to be fair, he is still better than 90% of the wrestling. I mean, like even though he's not up to par, he's still better than a lot of guys out there. I won't say 90. I'll say 50%, 60%. But he still has that moniker. He still has that name. He's still Kota Ibushi. But it's just he's just not the same. He's not, and I don't know if there's any amount of therapy, like physical therapy or anything that will get him back to that.
It's hard when it comes to injuries like that. The one thing I will say about Ibushi is I'm holding my full reservation out until we get a singles match with him in AEW.
Right.
Just because I think, like, yuck. He's been doing tag team stuff. Sometimes it's easier to just be like, he's going to go half speed or whatever. Like, look, his bunks in that hardcore match
that was quite possibly hilarious. The funniest thing.
Hilarious.
I've seen
Alvarez was going off on that, like Brian Alvarez from the Wrestling Observer. He was like, and he hit him with some of the lightest blows I've ever seen. It was nuts. And I was just like, come on, Brian. Like, it's wrestling. Like sometimes it's just wrestling. Like you gotta
sometimes you gotta take it for what it is.
Like when Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's illegitimate son, you're just like, that's one of the moments you're like, it's just wrestling. I there's no explanation.
Even though when Angle said what's his name was his son, you could kind of see that.
Bro, I still don't see it. Kurt Angle is not anyway. Going back to your question though, like I think the Kota Ibushi, like, I don't think he's gonna get back to where he was like at his prime. I just don't. Could he? Like, absolutely, and I hope he does. I genuinely hope he does. Like, I think that's goes without saying, but I think the question really is, how does Kota Ibushi evolve his style? Like, because a lot of people have done that. Even Brian, like he still wrestles a pretty rough looking style, but if you watch the way he bumps, like, doesn't take bumps on his I was going to say he rarely takes bumps on his head. He does for big matches because he's like insane.
Dude, as accident prone as Brian is, it's absolutely crazy.
This man is wrestling in this Continental Classic with the broken orbital bone, and he's just like, I love wrestling.
He has the mask on, right?
He's got like he had an eye patch. We went the different route. He's like, arg. But Ibushi, I don't know. Like, it's to be determined, I think, because we've only seen a handful of matches with him, and really, like, Blood and Guts, you didn't really see him do much anyway because he was only in there for so long. There was that all in match he had with Omega and Hangman Page in a tag team match. And like again, like people point towards the fact like he's not he's not a spring chicken anymore. But
no,
again, it's only been a handful of matches, so we'll see.
Let's definitely see. That's a good question though, Jermaine. But yeah, like we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens.
What's you know, and also we'll see what happens. Yeah. What else we got on the Duque, as I like to say it? We got oh yeah, AEW talent. I got this story to talk about, Trev. You want to talk about AEW talent being frustrated?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm just gonna read this aggregation from Cultaholic Wrestling.
Gotcha.
Big shout out to the boys at Cultaholic.com. Go check out their work. It says, quote, this is by Jack King. Says, All Elite Wrestling is filled with negativity today following the firing of Kevin Sullivan, the vice president of post-production. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Sullivan was an AEW original, joining the company after spending 14 years with TNA/Impact Wrestling, and he built the entire post-production team based out of Nashville. Now, interrupting here to just clear up, this is not Kevin Sullivan, the wrestler. No. You know, the Taskmaster, for those of you. Stone. Not that guy. This is the guy who basically like really ramped up TNA's production back in the day. Quote goes on to say, the move will not affect AEW's live production, but will have an impact on video packages, promotional advertisements, and Rampage. The negativity within AEW is twofold, though. And part of what is fueling the unhappiness is the poor crowds at TV tapings in North America, which has been a particular issue for AEW Collision since the show premiered in June. While discussing AEW's successful year revenue-wise, Meltzer said, okay, interrupting here to say, Meltzer's quotes are wild as hell because like he just interrupts himself constantly, so bear with me as I fumble my way through this. Meltzer said, and I quote, they're grossing a lot of money. It's interesting because today I've gotten so much feedback from people in and around AEW, and it's a lot of negativity right now. And I think some of it stems from the show Saturday night, obviously, was very poor crowd. Great grammar there, Meltzer. It's interesting because there's a lot of negativity while at the same time the company's grossing more money by far than it ever has the last couple of months. It's been very, very successful in that sense. As far as turning a profit, that's a very different story. And as far as the value of the company, there's economic aspects of the company that look really good, but there's still the feeling of negativity. Understandably, in wrestling, it's always, quote, who's number one, unquote, and they are far from number one right now. They're a lot more competitive in things like television ratings and attendance and things like that 18 months ago than they are now. So, Trevor, this really goes back to like what we were talking about earlier in the show.
Right.
Their private, like AEW's like peak has kind of passed them, but the fact that talent are upset, seemingly or reportedly, according to Meltzer, isn't good.
No, like I piggyback on that. I heard that some of the talent was the Hardy Boys. They were upset for the booking that they were getting, and I hate to say it, but I mean, as good as you guys still are, your expedition date's coming up, baby, and that's kind of, I mean, that's understandable. I mean, the thing is, one of the biggest things that I've noticed about AEW has too many stars, and they literally have a stocked roster of tag teams, women, men, singles, like that they need to use, and it's hard for them to rotate, and that's their biggest issue. They don't use a lot of the talent they had. A lot of it's just sitting in the back waiting. Like I don't know if they still have Sunny Kiss on contract, but Jay seen Sunny Kiss on a show in months. She's been on TNA. She had a great match with Trinity, TNA a couple weeks back. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone saw that. That was an amazing match. If you can find it, go check it out. But like you haven't seen her. You haven't seen Nyla Rose. When you see Nyla Rose, it's kind of a treat because Nyla Rose really doesn't wrestle much anymore. Like, there's so many people on their roster, people forgot. So I think that might be part of it, honestly. Like, not only poor booking and like the marketing, but like having too many stars can also be an issue too.
Yeah, I think that like you're right in that. I just think that AEW could also just do a better job of, like, not even involving talent, but like making what they're doing more meaningful.
Right. Right.
I think the Continental Classic was a way to do that. I think they're doing a good job of that. I honestly would have liked to see some other talent. Like I love, I like. There's some talent in there that I really like, honestly. But like, look, Jay Lethal, whatever.
Yeah,
that should have gone to like someone like Keith Lee. Would have been great to have Lee in that tournament. Would have been great to have him highlighted there. Should have been like you know what I'm saying. There were so many. This was a time for you to really highlight some of your more underutilized talent, and like they're doing that with some of them. But like, come on,
Daniel Garcia.
He's in there. He is in there.
He actually is. I'm glad they actually use him.
But
I keep calling Russo, but
Miro. You could keep. We can't have Miro taking losses now.
No, of course not.
Because Miro doesn't do that.
But no, Miro, like it's so many people that they could possibly use, and they don't really use them that well. Like, Wardlow isn't being used right at all.
Allegedly, he may be being used as. Look, this is maybe a good weird segue. Trevor, MJF is wrestling the Devil's Goons tomorrow night on Dynamite.
Yes.
There is speculation that one of the Devil's Goons that MJF will be wrestling will be Wardlow.
Interesting.
Thoughts?
So do we know who the Devil is yet?
No idea. I mean, so, we have like I have my guesses of who it could be.
We have speculation online. Some people believe, and trust me, when you have speculation in wrestling groups, this is scientific. Okay.
No,
they do the scientific research.
You joke, but some of these people like are wild as hell. Like they will go.
No, dude, I'm joking, but I'm also kind of serious. Like it's so funny because like they'll be like, "Oh, look at his jawline. Look how his neck looks. Like that's got to be who that is."
Like look at that. Look at that pec line. I know that pec line anywhere.
Like 15 billion people don't have the same damn neckline.
Can you imagine if we put that much effort into like thinking about who we vote for?
Right.
Oh, bro, this country would be in such a better place.
So one of the people they believe that a lot of wrestling fans believe is the Devil is good old Brian Nemeth.
No way, Ryan Nemeth?
Well, not Ryan Nemeth, his brother Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah, Nicky. They think Mr. Dolph Ziggler is the Devil.
What do you think about that? His non-compete isn't even up yet.
And that's what I'm saying.
Like, you can't tell that.
He's not out. It hasn't been 90 days yet.
I mean, it's about to be like soon, but like there's no way that he's been the Devil. That legally can't happen.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Like your speculation that it's good old Jack Perry makes it something interesting. But
I got two guesses here. It's either Jack Perry or Adam Cole, baby.
No, I think it might be Adam Cole.
I think Adam Cole makes the most sense.
I think it might be Adam Cole. And honestly, I think Roderick Strong is in on it too.
But I also think that there is credence to the idea that Wardlow is one of the goons.
That'd be interesting.
Look, he wants revenge. Like, it's a great story to tell too, because MJF ruined. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like that whole MJF drama, it did hurt Wardlow's push, right?
It did.
So if there's anyone who's got beef, like I've been hearing on the internet, like come on, like look, Wardlow also wasn't given the best promo material. Let's just say I've been hearing on the internet that y'all think Wardlow's washed up. This is a rag sheet, brother. uh, um, but yeah, I will say this. I think that depending on what you're able to do with, like, Jack Perry, if I'll say it again, if they're able to do make Jack Perry the devil and give a good enough reason for it, it's gonna elevate him so much.
Absolutely. And honestly, I mean, either one of those guests, right? Adam Cole or Jack Perry makes sense. But Jack, I feel like it's more story there because MJF told him, like, you're too good, you're too nice. You have to be meaner, you have to be more. So no, you can't do this. Like, you're not going to be anything if you don't elevate yourself.
Got to quit the good guy act, pal. That's what he said.
Exactly. And like, honestly, if you do that correctly, if you do it correctly, and it is Jack Perry, he should be the one to take the belt off the devil.
That would be a wild ass moment. You know, damn well there'd be so many fans who are gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, look at AEW is in the mud. They're looking at the Jungle Boy playing in the mud. Muddy Boy, Jungle Boy playing in the mud." Yeah, I mean, Adam Cole makes the most sense. I think you and I both agree. But dude, I keep thinking about it. I'm like, what if it's Jack Perry though?
If it was Jack Perry, dude, Adam Cole, of course, makes the most sense. But if it was Jungle Boy, hats off to the story team, because you just knocked another one out of the park.
If they give a good reason, if they give
and they have to give a good reason, like you said, because to me, is only if you do it, it has to be because what MJF said to him. It has to be. It has to be because what MJF said to him, and the fact that he did turn heel, and we haven't seen him since then, is it's just been stewing, it's been brewing, and you have to make him crazy. He can't be just some sinister dude with a mask on. He has to be insane. I'm talking about sitting in the boiler room, rocking back and forth, insane, because he can't win the big one. What MJF said to him drove him crazy. The fact that he's had heat with all these people in the back, you have to use that, and it has to make sense.
You want to know something? Jack Perry, and I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm a devil, Jack Perry.
It's like you chew some
have you know
tapioca pudding every time you do it.
Oh, as you know, I'm Jack Perry, and I like glass. I eat glass for breakfast.
Oh dear.
Perry.
Oh dear.
Popped myself looking at myself in the damn OBS. That's Jack. I will say he definitely needs to drop the. I'm Jack Perry and I'm sick of this. No, he needs to be like,
yeah,
you know what this is? Real glass. Yo, I want that Jack Perry. That was
no, Jack. No.
Y'all can be mad. And look, was it irresponsible for him to do? Sure, he should not have called CM Punk out.
Funny.
But I gotta say, that's probably the best promo he's ever cut. What this is? Real glass.
It's real glass. That was great.
Think about it. That promo shook CM Punk to his core and made him want to fight that man and Tony Khan.
Yep. Ratings, people.
Ratings. Could you imagine? Oh, God. Punk. If you didn't... Sometimes I wonder, what if Punk didn't, fight Jack Perry? And he just, yelled at him a little bit. You could have just yelled at him, Punk. We all know you're a man. But also, there are reports that he wanted back into WWE anyway, so...
Yeah.
Maybe this was his way. We'll never know, but maybe it was. Anything else you want to talk about, Trev? We've hit the we've hit almost the 2-hour mark of this show.
So what's happening next week, buddy, with the show?
Oh yeah, should be an update, right? So announcement about an announcement about I'm like Tony Khan right now. We got an announcement.
We got so many announcements.
Oh, so many announcements. One quick update for those of y'all watching. There will be no show next week or the week after that. I will be doing some traveling. So I will be without Wi-Fi but also we'll be preparing for some big news that that all I will say is on what's the date? I guess is it?
I don't know the date.
Okay, yep. Our holiday special, live 8 p.m. Tuesday night, December 26th. Trevor and I will be making an announcement that will be shocking the core of OT Graps, and as Tony Khan likes to say, a new era.
A new era. And also, I said at the top of the show, if you see boxes and things going around, I am moving. I'm moving to another part of the area I live in.
I'm about to say, don't let them know, man. Don't let them know. These sleuths who they're finding like pec muscles and be like, oh, I coordinate. I know where he lives.
I'm moving. Big step in life, big stuff, and there is a lot of big things coming from both of us.
Big things happening. So much to talk about. Be sure to tune into our holiday special. It is our wildest, wackiest, and absolutely most
ridiculous show
of the year. There will be costumes. There will be bullocks, and God, hopefully there will be viewers. Cheer too. Hopefully there will be viewers. or you could be our only one, whoever you are out there. No, it's going to be great. I can't wait. Guys, be sure to tune in live 8 p.m. Tuesday night, December 26th. Huge announcement, huge news. A lot to talk about. But yeah, so that is the tease I will give. But yeah, new era. I know, Trevor, you're excited about it. I'm hyped for it too.
Definitely. And soon I'm going to be in my new office along with the other new.
I'm smoking a pipe. I'm smoking away.
In time for the new announcement. So yeah,
heck yeah,
it's good stuff. Going into the new year the right way.
Heck yeah. What are you watching these days, my man?
Dude, I've been watching cartoons actually. I've been watching a lot of anime, a lot of old cartoons that I stumbled on. Do you remember? I can't find it anywhere, but like a lot of people don't remember this. But do you remember when WWE actually had a network? Remember Camp WWE?
Yeah, I remember WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin was a menace on that show.
Yo, so was Ric Flair, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably why you can't find it on you can probably find it on. Well, let me see where you can find it on Peacock. It's on Peacock.
Is it on Peacock? Okay.
Yeah, I just looked it up on Peacock. They might. I think they might have canceled some of the Ric Flair episodes though, just because
it was absolutely hilarious. The wrestlers as kids. Yo,
hold up.
John Cena was.
No, hold up. You just set me down. I gotta show the people what we're talking about here. In case y'all don't know, back when the network first started, actually no, back in 2012 when they originally were gonna launch a network, they came up with this idea for a cartoon, like an adult cartoon show called Camp WWE. Yep. And it was a great show, ran for 2 seasons on the original WWE network in 2014. And I'm just going to pull up the promo photo for the show. Wow, this is a very large image.
In my age group, it was Camp Candy, but it was adult.
Here we go. There it is. There is so much. I didn't even see Mark Henry. Ayo.
I forgot Bray Wyatt was on it too.
He was, but yo, why does Mark Henry look like that? That's wild as hell. That is wild.
Yo, look at The Rock, bro.
Bro, look at The Rock, my man. I love how Stone Cold's got a beard. He's like 12 years old.
John Cena has a huge head, dog. And Seth Rollins is just
why why my man R-Truth got a head like a peanut, bro? Why they do him like that?
Why Kevin Owens got marshmallows? Why he's so fat?
Hey, why they got a bit, bro? Why do they do them all? Look at Sarge though. Look at Sarge in the corner.
Like, this is how you know how old this is. Look at Paige. Paige is there.
Paige, yeah. They got Sasha Banks. I didn't even notice Sasha and Becky too.
I forgot both of them. Well, they had to be season 2. They had to be season 2.
Look at this little John Cena, this little Trump supporter over here with his little red hat.
Yo. Is that the Undertaker? Yeah, that's the Undertaker.
Oh yeah, he was a goth. Remember, he was like in his goth phase. And he was like, "Oh, life is so unprecious, bro."
Dude, I'm mad they didn't show Vince McMahon though. Here,
they did. Hold up, I can. What you mean, bro? I can hold up. Let me see. Is there like all characters? I'm just gonna try to find one with all, because like we're missing quite a few characters.
It's a few people over here that aren't there. Yeah. Like,
wow.
The funniest is The Rock, dude.
Why
does, and first off, why is Stone Cold bald, and why does he have a 5 o'clock shadow and a beer?
Look, he is one angry, drunk 12-year-old. Hold up. So this shows more of them.
Okay.
Here we go.
Is that's Big Show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well. He looks so whack without the beard.
He does. So funny. This show was.
Hold up! You want to see something wild? I didn't even know that they had my man, the Godfather, in this.
Yes, I remember now. He was in that. Yep.
Bro, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at what Pimp Daddy? Hell no. Oh my god. Look at that. You got 3 legends and one of the most racist wrestlers of all time. Rest in peace.
Guess which one.
Rest in peace. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know which one.
Oh, bro, you sent me down like quite the rabbit hole. Now
I sent you down a rabbit hole, did I?
Bro, hold up. This is. Yeah, yo, look at my man Russo.
Yo,
why they do him like this? Why they do Russo? Why he angry?
I just want to be here.
Did Lana? Why
does Bray Wyatt's character look like he just showed you a shoddy car?
This is, oh my gosh, this is wild. Okay, Camp WWE. It's on Peacock. Go watch it.
Check it out. Check it out. It's ridiculous.
Can't get over Rusev. Look, this is him when Tony Khan tells him to lose.
Lose. I don't want to lose.
I do not lose, and neither does my hot, flexible wife. Yeah.
Oh man.
I've been watching for what it's worth. I went back and I watched the like, what was it? It was Ren and Stimpy. That's what I've been watching. Ren and Stimpy.
You must be upset with your life.
No, Stimpy. Why would I be upset? Ren?
God.
Ren? Okay. You want to go play, Ren? Okay. No, Stimpy. We are not going to play.
Stimpy, I don't want to play with you, stupid.
I don't want to play with you, Stimpy.
Yo, Ren
you
and
rats,
Stimpy.
you turd. You stupid idiot.
We are going to go and get those pig jousts. But Ren, I'm a pig. I think. It's okay, Stimpy. It's called cannibalism.
A lot of Ren and Stimpy, probably for the worse.
Yep.
Wrestling wise, I went back and Trevor, I'm doing it. There is, you want to know something? A wild fact about me.
I know a lot of wild facts about you.
But a wrestling fact about me. Trevor, I have never watched, and you're just going to surprise you. I've watched like every WrestleMania.
Okay.
Other than one match.
Really?
That I've been skipping on purpose.
What match is that? And what WrestleMania is that?
WrestleMania 18.
Okay.
Trevor, when I tell you something, like, believe me, I'm not capping on this. I've never seen The Rock versus Stone Cold. Or sorry, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18.
We were just talking about that match.
I know, we were just talking about that.
You've never seen it, really?
Never seen it. And you want to know something even crazier? I don't know who wins.
Wait, Are you serious?
I swear to God. I've seen, like, when I was younger, because here's the thing. For whatever reason, when I was young, like when I was on the network and I was like doing my whole like research, I was like watching all the wrestling I could. For whatever reason, I was like, oh, this is like a cool match. But it ended up being one of those things where I'm like, oh, it's late at night. I can only watch one match. I'm going to go watch the main event. Like, I skip right past it. Or I watch like the Stone Cold versus Razor Ramon things. I like the build better.
Right.
I've never seen that match. I think it might be time for me to see that match.
I think it's time to watch it, dude.
and find out who wins.
I've never watched it though. That's interesting.
It's weird. Like I kind of, part of me, honestly, the reason like it's like sustained this far though, is because part of me likes having something that I've never watched and experienced. Like I could have watched it. Like honestly, like, there were so many chances. Like I wanted to watch it and I could have watched it like for the last like probably 7-8 years or whatever. But like I kind of purposefully like was like, I'm gonna hold off. And like the only reason is because I'm like, I've watched so much wrestling. You and I both watched so much wrestling. There's like very little that's like new, especially of the old stuff that's new. And like for whatever reason, I like that. So I've just kind of held off. Even when I'm watching like the top 10 videos that are talking about top 10 WrestleMania matches, I'm like, oh, they're talking about Hogan Rock. Skip.
No one watched that. Like there is, so like I always say that Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite wrestlers. There is a match that I still haven't seen. I know the outcome, but I still haven't seen. It's because you can't find it anywhere, honestly. But it was the Rockers versus the Hart Foundation, and it's for those of you that don't know this, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. So the history books will show you that Shawn Michaels has never won a championship as a rocker. That's false.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
There's a match that I want to say it may have been a dark match. I don't know. I think it was on TV. I'm not sure. But what happened was, I think they like ran over TV time or something like that. If it was a televised match, and it cut off, all right, and no one saw it. No one saw the outcome, but the Hart Foundation dropped the titles to the Rockers. Now there was, of course, a lot of controversy. Shawn and good old his partner, whose name I can't remember at the moment. They were notorious for a lot of things. None of them were good. So they agreed to just take the titles off and erase it like it never happened. But it did happen.
You want to know why? It's like the stupidest reason. I don't know if you know why. Or if you want to know.
Well, yeah, sure. What's the reason?
So in the match,
because I think I knew.
In the original match, the top rope broke.
Yes.
And Vince and like they were like, oh, Vince was mad, so they had to re-record it for TV. Yeah. And
I remember that.
Vince, by the time they decided to re-record it, was like, I don't want the Rockers to win. He just changed his mind.
If I'm not mistaken, he was pissed at him at the time anyway. But like he
was, because that was like Shawn Michaels like doing his Shawn Michaels like politicking before he was like thought of as a big star. Yeah,
the sexy boy. And they were drinking a lot and doing a lot of drugs.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
He's born again now. He's a good boy now.
Also, he's a good boy now.
Also, the best booker of women's wrestling in North America right now, arguably.
Yeah,
way better than Billy Corgan.
I don't think Billy Corgan can book much anything else.
Hey man, what's a? I don't even know what
Soul champion was.
What's a Billy Corgan? What does a Billy Corgan accent sound like?
The world is a vampire. I'm gonna book Tyrus to win, despite all my beside all my rage. I'm still just a
Something.
I don't know. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Actually, this is gonna sound old of me, and I don't care. But him and the Smashing Pumpkins, Green Day, Rancid, and a couple other bands are gonna be at the National Stadium next year.
For what? Is there like a festival?
Yeah, I think it's a festival. The performance is gonna be great.
Oh, that's great, man. I'm there for Rancid. I'm there for Green Day. Turn my back when the Smashing Pumpkins play. It's like
actually, not Smashing Pumpkins.
I'm just gonna cross my arms like.
They were like, "Oh, he must be a wrestling fan."
I'm gonna wear all this should have kept the belt shirt.
All this should have kept the belt, damn it.
Well, now he's in WWE, and he's the general manager of SmackDown.
Yeah, it gives me hope for Cody Otis.
Whoa! Great. Cool. All right.
Today was a show.
Today was a great show. I enjoyed this.
I had fun. I had a lot of fun.
And you know what? I enjoy it every week. Tune in Tuesday, December 26th. Major announcement. Explosive. What did Tony Khan say? A major announcement that's going to rock the core of the wrestling universe. And then I'm going to come out here and be like, in 2024, OT Graps will be starting at 7:05 every week. Do you imagine? That's basically every announcement. Like 7:05. This is great. It's a great era. It's a great change.
In a few weeks, it's gonna look really weird. I'm gonna look in the camera because 26. I'll still be here. I'm gonna look at the camera and not see a bed.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a huge. It's gonna be great though. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. This show is always fun. Guys, do me a favor. Go over on the Big X if you feel inclined. If you're still on it. For those of you who are still on it, go over on the Big X and follow my man Trevor at TREVERTAINMENT. That is TREVERTAINMENT. Trevortainment on the X. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Trevor, parting thoughts.
Yeah, that's it. But no, guys. Holiday season coming up. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Enjoy your time together, man. Things in the world to me feel like they're changing for a good thing. So, just enjoy yourselves, guys.
And
enjoy. Have a good time.
I can't wait for 2025 too. My man Kervin's like, what 2024? There's no election. That's how I feel too, bro. Of course, 2024 is going to be an epic year. I can't believe it's already 2024. That makes me feel insanely old because like when I was younger, I was like, 2020. It's like so far away. It's like
right now we're here. And you're like, darn it.
I found a gray hair recently. It's great. Why do you think people ask me, man, why do you always get a fade? I'm like, because I got like one gray hair over here, and I'm like really self-conscious.
I found hair recently.
Trevor's like, I found hair. My man's like, you got that the goop. Are you buying the goop, and you're like, oh my god, it's gonna grow back. Someone did that. Oh, anyway. Until next time, everyone, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.
Love those who are far. Hug those who are close, guys. Have a great week. See ya, the 26th.
Merry holidays and happy everything.
Haha.
Till next time, guys. GTA 6, that's why. Oh, okay. That's why.
True. Yeah.
All right, last thing I will say. Rockstar Games, y'all are wild as hell for releasing that and then saying
the trailer and then say, oh, it's 2025.
I was so mad about that. Anyways,
so mad.
I'm gonna stew about that over the next year and a half until that game is released. But love you guys. Keep it real.